Assalamu alaikum, good morning everybody, Your Excellencies, delegates, colleagues, friends, partners. It's a pleasure to be back. Like David, I'm a repeat offender at this event. This is my second year back. And it's really important that we continue to mark the calendar with these types of events, bringing industry leaders from across the sector together to discuss the challenges we face and to find innovative solutions. Alone, it's impossible for us to achieve the goal that the UAE has set, that the world is working towards, of achieving net zero by 2050. Only by being together, sharing our innovation, sharing our sustainability objectives that we're committed to, can we find ways to make those work. At NMDC, we are a world-leading EPC marine contractor. We build what other people want us to build. We don't decide what we want to build. So only by having discussions with our customers, with our clients, can we find ways to make that infrastructure as sustainable as it can be. With our partners, with our colleagues and friends, we have to find ways to look at co-investment. We have to find ways to find what is most important is to find commercially sustainable solutions to the sustainability challenge. And I spoke about that last year, and I think it's really important to re-emphasize that. It's really important that we always bring the commercial side, the economics, into the equation. Because as leaders, as every party that's represented here is today, only by continuing to be industry leaders, only by continuing to be commercially and business sustainable and resilient, can we influence the industry to achieve the targets that we do. If we look at the world today, it's been touched on by several of the other speakers, we're seeing a world, if we compare ourselves to where we were when we all came together a year ago for this conference last year, we've seen some quite significant changes, we've seen some quite significant differences, and the only thing we can say is that the inevitability of change is the only constant. We're seeing rising views across various different parts of the political world, challenging the legitimacy on climate change. But in conflict, if we look to our east, we've seen over recent days a super typhoon ravaging the Philippines, ravaging South China, and a 50% increase compared to the annual norms in typhoons in that region. The globe is Parts of the world are starting to drive other agendas and starting to take away some of the focus that was maybe there a year ago on climate change. Global conflict is undeniably still there and continues to be there, and in some cases on the rise. And we've seen through various different trade mechanisms, such as tariffs, significant disruption brought to maritime trade, maritime shipping, and differences in movements of cargo. But these are the changes that we must be resilient and strong enough to cope with. And the challenges we have to achieve our net zero goals are still the same as they were last year. And what we need to do is keep driving the focus on those. In the maritime industry, whether it's in the EPC construction business or whether it's in the shipping business or as a marine owner and operator, the biggest challenges we have are the life cycle of our assets. Our assets are expensive. They last for 40 years, and it's very expensive, or in some cases, it's impossible to retrofit them. If I look at our sector in the industry, in the EPC marine construction, we're still working with the world-leading engine manufacturers to come up with an engine that can run on the clean fuels and deliver the power demand that we need for the EPC construction vessels. Right now, that doesn't exist. So only by sharing that information can we do that. They have this technology for the shipping industry where power demand is constant, but in the EPC business, it's still not there. We're still, while LNG continues to be the transition fuel that everybody is focused on, the other clean fuels, it's still not clear what the future is going to be selected. And there are commercial challenges, there are logistical challenges in trying to implement any of those. In our sector, in the EPC construction business, we're typically the guys who are building the ports, building the jetties, building the facilities to enable the shipping to come. When we go to build, the facilities aren't there to provide LNG storage, methanol storage, etc. So these are the challenges that were there last year, but we cannot afford for them to allow them to defeat us. We have to continue to strive to look for more and more ways, as we are doing in NMDC Group. And NMDC Group continues to be, in the EPC marine construction sector, an industry leader when it comes to ESG. In 2024, we were the first EPC marine contractor to achieve a AA rating in ESG. And that is the only viable industry benchmark for the reliability of your governance, your systems, your commitment to the sustainability agenda. How have we done that, though? We haven't done that by retrofitting all of our vessels, because that's just not commercially viable. If we did that, it would be fantastic, except we wouldn't be in business anymore. We have to measure the economy, the commerciality, with the achievements. So in how we've done these things, we've heard several other people talk about what we do. We do these things as well. We have implemented, I talked last year that we were trialling fuel catalysts. We've completed our trial of all the available fuel catalysts, and we have now selected the one, implemented a framework agreement, and implemented the use of the fuel catalyst across our fleet. This is achieving between 3 and 8%, depending on the type of operation, in fuel savings. This is significant. This is a massive reduction. Also, the emissions that come out after the fuel is burned more cleanly is a much lower reduction in our carbon footprint. We've put in technology, not only in our vessels, but in the vessels that we charter from others. We've installed fuel monitoring, we've installed other monitoring devices, coupled with AI technology, in order to be able to make sure that we're as efficient as possible in the use of fuel. We continue to undertake offset projects. We're working on the Maritime project and the Ruwais LNG project. Through our energy business unit, our dredging and marine business unit continues in its program with EAD to install fish farms around the coastline of Abu Dhabi and to undertake mangrove plantations as part of our offset program. We are continuing to penetrate and continuing to pursue wind projects in Asia and in other locations. But some of the new things that we've done, and again, business sustainability, to achieve sustainability is one of the keys. We have undertaken during the course of 2024 a significant step towards our diversification and collaboration activities. We've launched 2 new business units, the first of which is NMDC LTS, which is where we're able now to take our world-class capability and capacity in marine construction, logistics and transportation and offer that to the wider market. This brings a level of efficiency. We've been doing marine construction transportation for 50 years in our projects. But when we build islands, when we build platforms and jackets, when we build facilities, ports, etc., always there are other parties that come after us. Now we're offering our marine logistics capabilities to them, which then reduces the waste, reduces the volume of fuel being consumed, because we're a lower fuel consumer, and therefore it overall incrementally improves these things. It also brings a level of efficiency. We increase the utilization of our assets, which therefore reduces the amount of waste in the supply chain. AI is key. Finding ways, incremental ways to do that, and human beings are not very good at finding those incremental ways. We've implemented AI across every aspect of our business. We have an in-house function that actually develops our AI algorithms for fuel management, for analysis. We've created an AI-based system that monitors the entire CCTV and actually independently recognizes and alerts people with HSE violations. This product is now being interested by our clients to actually take from us and put out there. We've been recognized on several occasions as well for our sustainability. Just recently, we won the Energy Company of the Year at the Sustainability Innovation Awards. And we continue to deploy solar wherever we can. If you look at our construction sites, if you look at across the region and across the globe, it's very different from where it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We're using solar to power our temporary facilities. We're using solar to supply all of the construction lighting across our projects. And this is how we can achieve net zero, carbon zero by 2050. By incremental change, by working with our partners, by working together, collaborating, taking opportunities such as these to communicate, to understand from each other how we do this, and strive together to overcome the challenges that I mentioned. Thank you very much.